Okay, got another VISUO to review here, and as you notice, hopefully there's a little bit of breeze here. There's a heck of a lot of breeze up there, as you can see, with the trees really swaying around. So this is going to be a really good test for this one. The reason it's going to be a good test is this one actually has an optical flow system. So it has a little camera that points down to the ground, and it picks a spot on the ground, and it will do everything in its power to keep it in that spot. Now, it won't work if it's somewhere that's very smooth, so perhaps sand and snow, stuff like that, it would really have trouble with, and also a smooth surface inside. The advantage is that this one will work inside as opposed to a GPS system, which obviously needs satellites to keep it in position. You're not going to get that in most houses, so it can be used inside and outside. Its limitation is about 10 meters, and then it loses its position no matter what it's over, sort of thing. But usually they hold pretty well on the gravel and sometimes on the grass as well. It's nice contrasty lighting today, so hopefully it'll hold position pretty well. They usually do pretty good. It's a VISUO, come on, we all love these. These are great quads, really lightweight, got a massive battery on it. They changed the battery a few series ago on the VISUO range, and this one's 1800 milliamp hour, single cell. It's the high voltage one, the 3.85, and it usually gives about 20 minutes flight time, so it's really good. And they do packages with 1, 2 or 3 batteries, so you've got real big options there. Just clicks into position. It is a proprietary battery, by the way. We've got our on-off switch here. You may notice that there's a micro SD card shown there, but this one's got the slot, but there's actually you can't put a card in. This is the little baby camera one. I think this one's a 720p. It's slightly tiltable, but not an awful lot, I must admit. It doesn't point down or anything, so you could just point it down a little bit, but you can actually record through this one. I do warn you, this is a very low quality camera. I think they're usually something like a 480p, something like that, and they're pretty, yeah, I would say pretty useless would be my description. Certainly not usable for anything, but you can flick it onto it, and I'll show you how we do that. It's a folding drone, as you notice, so we just pop these out, and they do click in position there. There's no locks or anything in them. Nice thing is with these, if they do take an impact, they tend to get knocked back out the way, and the props are pretty flexible as well, as you can see, so you should be pretty good to go, even if you're a newbie to it. You can pop these out, and then you can pop in the prop guards. They make it a really big, and then it's not a folding drone anymore. But if you're new to flying, I do suggest you do that. The controller is the same one they've been running for ages now, so this is like a gaming style transmitter, and I'll run through the actual controls when we actually get up and fly. It is a mode 2, which means the throttle's on this side. I haven't noticed in the instructions, you might be able to change it to a mode 1 flight mode, which means the throttle comes on this side. If you fly it using the app, and it has an app for FPV, and also you can fly it on it, and the app is really quite good, you can actually definitely swap that from mode 1 to mode 2, and then you don't have to carry the transmitter as well. With all the VISUO range, we flick on the quad first of all. We get flashing LEDs. I mean, it's really bright sunshine, which is really nice. There we go, you've got green at the front and you've got red at the back, which is really nice, and they flash slowly, pulse slowly. Hopefully you'll be able to, actually if I put it up there, you might be able to see them when I turn the transmitter on. Transmitter switch on and off is here. Turn that on, we get very fast flashing LEDs. That means we're ready to bind. We simply go up and down on the throttle, and then that's us bound, ready to go. The quad will have set up a Wi-Fi hotspot, and we're just going to log on to that. I did just check this worked indoors. I haven't flown it yet, but I did check it did. It's still on the hub that is the wireless for the house. So what I'm going to do is just connect it up to this one. So go into Wi-Fi settings, and there we go. We've got M8. Mine's a 720p, like I say, but there is they do a 1080p as well. So just simply going to close that down, and the app is called, it actually comes up as Share underneath, which is really difficult to find in your apps and everything, but it's basically XS Video is the actual app, and it warns you that there's no internet connection. Now you don't need any other hotspot or anything else. It's literally the hotspot of the quad itself, and you just link onto it with your phone. Going to launch into the app, and then we can actually calibrate it here, and like I say, we can fly it from here, but I'm actually going to do everything on the transmitter to start with. I'm just simply going to press start, and there we are, we're live. Oh, the camera's not too bad. I'm going to point that more or less level, I think. Yeah, that looks okay. I really like the style of this transmitter, because you just flick this out to actually hold your phone. If you're new to flying, I wouldn't bother with this to start with. Just get up, enjoy flying, because it is really a nice experience, and then move on to the FPV a bit later on. But if you're probably like me, you probably want to get on with it anyway, so you want to have all the bells and whistles going. To calibrate the gyro on it, sit it on somewhere level, pull the 2 sticks down and out, you get flashing LEDs there, and then we've got a beep off here, which means it's calibrated. Don't move it while you're doing that, because this is basically going to keep it level. With the optical flow, it's going to hold its position anyway, so we shouldn't need any trim adjustments or anything. Now, take off and land, we just simply press this one, and we're up and away. That's us done. Now, that is working on optical flow straight away. I can tell because the quad's actually leaning into the wind slightly. Let's start this video off here. Yeah, you can see that's actually just holding position. You can see the quad is not sat level. It's struggling against the wind. The breeze is coming quite strong against the garden there. And if I give it a shove, whoops, there we go. My hand got in the way of it there. There we go, and it's holding position again. You can see that is not sitting level. It's a pity I can't turn the optical flow off because it would then just drift across the garden. So this is in low rates, and this is really low. That is full pitch in low rates. It's really struggling against that wind. I'm going to up the rates. There we go. It's really struggling even there. That's in intermediate rates. It's doing okay. And you can see it pitching into the wind there. So that's in intermediate. And that's in high rates. There we go. Again, like I say, you can see it pitching into the wind. Really good. Hey, it's working well. Like I say, the position hold is working pretty good. There we are. Well, it works on a barometer for the actual altitude hold, and the wind cutting through it can actually change that quite a bit, and that's exactly what it's doing. So the wind is making it adjust as it goes. But that is holding really steady. That's up at that height is going to be quite a bit of breeze there, and you can see even on the video it's sitting really nicely. Nice little quad. VISUO do know what they're doing. Look at that. You can see how much wind there is on that because it's actually tilting it. We'll take it up higher. We'll notice it would just about run out at 10 meters. God, look at the lean on that now. That is really windy up there. I mean, it's blowing me quite a bit. Here. There we go. And we're just about to go. There we go. It's getting on for 10 meters up there, and you can see it's actually struggling against it now. So, it's not actually a particularly fast flyer, I must admit. But it's no sports model, and they do a really good job. They're brilliant for beginners, especially with an optical flow as well, because it's just going to keep everything for you. You don't have to panic. You can just let go of things. Like I say, the altitude hold is really being mucked up by this wind. But you could just then concentrate on how to learn the control sort of thing. It does have a flip button on it as well. And there's a little LED at the front, but it doesn't actually appear that bright today. The Battle Sharks, these are called the Battle Sharks, they have a little LED at the front there. To flip, you simply press this one and then choose what way you want it flipped. Flips quite fast actually. It's quite a big quad to be doing flips like that, so press that and then just choose what direction, forward, back, left or right. We do have something called headless mode here, so if I press this one, we then get flashing LEDs on it, and also this thing keeps beeping forever basically. I can't remember what way I bound it up. So that's forward, this is backwards towards me, right and left. And as you see, the quad is actually facing that way, so this is a headless setting. So no matter what way I point the quad, if I push forward, it's always forward away from me, back towards me. Not something I actually use, but it's there if you want to start with it. I don't recommend it actually. Learn how to fly, you know, using the actual front of the quad is much better. That wind is getting really strong. I'm not sure how much longer it will keep up with it. I'm going to turn that off, it's really annoying me. There's a return to home button. If I press that, it'll start heading back home, which could be anywhere actually. So if I send it off in this direction over there, basically if you flew from where you took off from, flew directly straight away from you, it would come straight back towards you. But if I press the return to home there, it's just going to go back over that way. There we go. So it doesn't actually know that this is actually home. There's no way it can tell that, and it would just keep going past the home position as well. We've got an emergency stop one here as well. I'll just bring that down low so you can actually see that, and literally as soon as you press that, it will just kill it stone dead, and it will just drop out the sky. So if you get into a panic situation, you've flown it away from you, it's chucking it with rain now and brilliant sunshine. This is the Highlands for you. Welcome to my home. So if you get away, you get a bit panicky, you can just hit that straight away. there is, I think you can start the motors, that's right, if you press the stop one very quickly, just a quick press, it will actually start the motors in to prime them, and then it's up to you to take off, so just literally up and away. That optical flow works really well, that is really nice. And I expect the camera is still is probably going to be the same as just taking a single frame from your video, but I'm just going to give that a quick go for you. There we go. Whoa, it's really contrasty lighting. There we go. There we go. We get a little icon up there. Oh, we can actually change what camera we're looking at, like I said before. So that's the camera now pointing downwards. I'll record that, but honestly, it's pretty low quality and not particularly great, I don't think. And now it's going to cope with the bald bonnet for the. No, it didn't like the top of my head. Didn't like all my hair in the way. That was the problem. There we go. I'm going to try and get underneath it, but like I said, the altitude hold is really struggling. Ah, there we go. Yeah, look at that. See, you can almost see my centre part in there, can't you? Oh, it did actually hold as well, so it's good. And there's a split screen one, I think. Whoops. Oh, can't switch it while you're recording. Sorry, I just had a very quick play with this indoors. You've got a split screen, so you've got this one going on here and this one here. I don't understand why you'd want to do that. I don't know if you can record that, but if you can, I honestly can't see a lot of sense in it. I'm really glad this has optical flow because the wind is getting worse actually. You can see the angle of it there. Oh wow, and it just distorts the image. Oh, mind you, I look incredibly thin. Like, oh, actually, I'm liking this. Yeah, I like this. So just got to turn that off. Oops. Again, and then we've got the little one there, so you can use both if you like. And then there's one way, that's it, and we're back onto normal now. Okay, there's a follow me function on it as well, but when I've tried them before on these, I've tended to find they tend to work on the app, so I'm going to run through more of the app stuff actually when we're on the app as well. Oh, there's also, actually I will just do one thing with it. I think you can actually get it to take pictures of you, so I think you put that one on. Can't remember how you do this. Oh, there we go. It's going to take 3 seconds to take a picture, and then you just, whatever, yeah, takes a single image. You can start the video as well by putting both, oh, you put your palm up, I think it is. There we go. There we go, and it just starts the video and stops the video. And the way to access that is here. It's called gesture mode. The other way of doing it is you can actually do a little, you can do the video box like this, and then it will start and stop as well. I'm going to stop that, and then just going to bring it into land. There is an auto land as well, so if you press that, it will start to descend. If you want to cancel that, just give it some throttle. That's exactly the same as just taking the throttle down. Exactly the same thing of what it's going to do. So I never really see a lot of sense in the auto land or auto takeoff. That actually did really well, especially with the optical flow in this wind as well. Once it's landed, just keep the throttle right off, and then it'll actually kill the motors. So I'm going to turn the transmitter off. Now what you sometimes have to do here is actually reboot the app because it won't let you actually run it like this, but we'll see how we get on first of all. So press this, we've got lots of other options here. I've done a full video on how to fly using an app, but I will run through this app as well with you because it's slightly different to the other ones I've used. Okay, so say you didn't want to take the transmitter with you, or you just want to have a go with the app itself. I've found them fly really well on these apps, so I'm hoping this isn't going to let me down here. We could calibrate it, simply come back to the main screen, and then you'll see the LED there, press the calibrate, and we get flashing LEDs. Make sure it's level again. You only have to do that if it's not performing right or you've had a massive accident. With the optical flow, it shouldn't need any adjustments anyway. Then into start, and then we've got the controls. You've got various controls here that you can set up, and there's a complete setup area here. I'm just going to leave mine on standard because it actually seemed all pretty much set up, but you can change it from left to right handed, and depending on what controls you want as well, you can start off with some basic controls. I'm going to run it with everything here. We've got auto takeoff, auto land here, and there's a bit here that you can actually put music on it while you're flying and stuff like that. I don't quite know why you'd want to do that, but you can add that to your video as well. That's the MV button here. So just going to click that to take off, and it's an instant, press the button and off it goes. And look at that for holding again. The wind has dropped a wee bit, but it's still, you know, you can still see it's still going. Going to start the video off again, and our controls are exactly the same. So we go up and down there. I don't think I actually ran through the controls, did I? So if you're new to flying, this is mode 2. Push it to the right and it left, it rotates to the left. Push it to the right, rotates to the right. If I push to the right, it rolls to the right, it rolls to the left, pitches forward, and then pitches backwards. There we go. And flying's a combination of those. That's with the orientation of the quad facing, with the front of the quad. So if I turn this round, and then if I press forward, forward is still the front forward facing bit of the quad sort of thing. And flying is just a combination of all of them. So I'm pitching forward, yawing to the left, I'm rolling to the left, and I'm ascending as well. It's literally just doing everything. That optical flow is working really well. Very impressed with it. And as you can see, the trees are all shimmering in the background. There's quite a bit of breeze coming. Really contrasty lighting for it as well. Okay, we got a stop button here as well. I'll do this just there sort of thing. Press that, it will just kill it immediately. And then it's got, oh, that's quite clever. It's now saying but it was pointing down like it wanted to take off, to land. And I think you've got a land there as well. Yeah, so if you press that, it does the same as I was showing you before. So. And of course there's no storage on board here, as I said, so this is literally just storing on the actual phone itself here. So we go into here, and then it should pick me out. So I'm just gonna, there we go. So it should follow me. There we go, it is following me. That's pretty good. Oh, no, it gave up there. It's got its, so just press this one here. I'm just gonna bring that down a wee bit. See if I can get it, if it will follow me. It is contrasty lighting, and like I say, you can see the wind effect. Look at the wind catching that. It's really doing well, actually. Try that again. There we go. There we go. Hopefully it will follow me now. Yeah, it is trying. Yeah, it's doing pretty good. Yeah, it is trying to follow me as best it possibly can. It is what it is. To be honest, there's no difference with doing this. Just doing that. That's the same as following me. But I'm just in control of it. Whoops! God, not knowing the orientation of the garden, that's pretty bad for me. I fly it here enough, you'd think I'd be alright, wouldn't you? And again, just got to stop that, just do a quick selfie. And you've got this gesture mode thing again here, which is this one here, and it says a couple of meters away. There we go. Whoa! Well, it obviously didn't want to get me, did it? Oh yeah, it's just pulsed up and down. Look at that. It's just the wind going through it. It's altering the altitude hold. It's doing really well. Okay, we've got rates change here, so let me just bring that down again. So it's in high rates, so I'm going to pop that into low rates, and again this should be pretty slow. So that's full pitch in low rates. Actually, I'd almost say that was faster than it was in the other one with the transmitter. It's a nice and controllable app, actually. Yeah, look at that, it's hardly going against that breeze at all. I'm going to up it. There we go, that's in 60%. So this just alters the amount of how the controls affect it. If you're new to flying, then I would start in low rates and then you move up into the higher rates as you go. It affects the yaw, so that's the yaw in high rates, that's in low rate. You can see how slow that is. Ideal for videoing. I mean, this is not really a true video bird, but it's not doing too bad actually. And the FPV has worked really well. Range, I could do a quick range test. And that is with the, obviously with the app, I'm doing it here. We'll probably get about 100 meters with the actual transmitter. Oops, let me up the rates again. There we go. I'm just a little bit nervous if that gets too far and then catches something wrong. No, that's 50 meters, and we're just holding on the FPV, just. I'm just going to pull that back actually. Yep, she's coming back. So it's just about 50 meters and we're starting to drop out there. Whoa! I'm busy looking at my controls, not at it. There we go. The wind is really affecting the altitude hold like mad. There we go. Once we get it over something, look at the way it just stopped in the air there. So you can see how well that and you can see how well the optical flow is working there. Absolutely superb. I think that's all the bells and whistles. Oh, sorry, you have got things like mission planner and stuff like that. And also you could control it with your hand as well. I've forgotten about this one. So, oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, so literally up, down, left and right. Whoops, I tell you what, I'm doing moves from the discos. Here we go. It's terrible, isn't it? Yeah, not my flying, honestly. Yeah, so basically you're supposed to be able to, look, it is trying to pick out my hand and then you move it around where you want it to go and you control it. I can see no sense in that at all. So I'm just going to turn that off. Okay, so show you some of the other functions. We do have a mission planner here, which, well, I really don't like them. I don't think they work particularly well. So I'm just going to give that a quick go. There we go. It will go where you've programmed it. I don't quite understand it. There we go. And this is a very tight area it runs around. So I just don't understand why on earth you'd want to do it, but that's just me, I guess. You turn it off by going back into the controls there. You've got a split screen here if you wanted to use it for VR. God, that altitude hold is really struggling with the wind. There we go. And then we've got headless mode as well, so I can't even remember what way I bound this up. So, oh, there we go. So forward is always away from me that way now. Oh, we've got flash. Oh no, we've got flashing LEDs, not because the battery's low, but because we're in headless mode. So headless mode, some people say that it's quite handy if you wanted to pan something or other. I've still never ever found a real use for it, to be honest. I'd rather just fly normally. So, yeah, really not my bag. And that is about it, really. I mean, what else would you want for? I mean, these things aren't expensive, and they do a really good job. Now, let me just show you that optical float again, just to run it out. Just to show you the height it will achieve. There we go. And of course, there we go, we just lost it there. You see that? Whoa, it's getting really buffeted by the wind there. Descent is not the quickest in the world, which is quite a normal thing with altitude hold. There we go, you can see it buffeting around there. That has been pretty impressive, actually. Yep. VISUO, I've done it again. I'll do my full sort of summary of what I think of it when I get back indoors. But actually, so far, really impressed with it. And it's just held really well. Gave us a massive long flight there as well. As I said, with an 1800 milliamp hour battery, that gives us loads and loads of power. And of course, you can hand catch and hand launch as well. So just put that there. Press the stop button, it will stop. We're literally just out on the actual. The battery is really low now, so just simply press the launch and you can hand launch it as well, which is really nice. Well, that's the first time the optical flow's failed, I think. It just hasn't picked out a position. This is actually quite difficult stuff for it to get a grip on, but it's done really well. Yeah, definitely failing now. I've given that all throttle. No, it's not going to do it. Yeah, so we're really gone on that battery now. There we go. Perfect example. See, as it hit down there, it's just put the arm back out the way, which is really cool. Yeah, the battery's absolutely gone. So I'll see how long that takes to charge, and then I'll run my summary indoors. The wind's dropped right down now, so I'm just going to pop it up and just show you that the altitude hold works fine. There we go. That's holding height and position, actually. No problem at all. Okay, just to show you that the altitude hold works absolutely fine with no wind around. As you can see there, the altitude hold's working really well, and the optical flow's working really well as well. But things can muck it up, and I know one thing that really mucks it up is the back of our sofa. Actually, centre of the room, it's just hovering around. You can see it's struggling to find a position. The other thing is, put your hand underneath, you can actually alter where it's going to go as well, and it will follow your hand around. But let me just show you where it really fails. Because it's a smooth sort of surface, there's the back of the sofa there, and if I just put that just about there, it will really struggle to find it. There you go, you can see it now, it's sort of oscillating around, it really can't pick anything out on the smooth leather. There we go, I'm touching nothing here, you can see what it's doing. Until it can actually find a position to hold on, then it's fine. And I don't know that I showed when I was outside with this, but if it's picked a position, and again it's struggling there because of the side of the table and everything, you can see it moving around a bit. There we go, now it's held into position. If I push it, it'll try and come back to its position. There we go, it's coming back to initially where it was.
Okay, so this is everything you get in the box. Obviously you've seen the quad already. It comes fully assembled, ready to roll. All you have to do is charge the battery up. The transmitter comes ready to go. Apart from, you do need 3 AA batteries with it, and the kit doesn't come supplied with those, so just any of those will do you. I did do a quick range test with this, and it went over the 80 metre, which is a garden test I have in my garden, is 80 metres from one point I stand to down to the hedge. It did that no problem at all. The FPV goes out around 50 metres, it drops out, but it does come back on as soon as you fly back towards yourself, which is rather handy. If you do go out of range, or something happens to the transmitter, it loses signal or whatever, after about a second the quadcopter will literally come down and land, so there's no real danger there of a fly away. I have done a few tests with it and I haven't had any issues at all. It just literally just drops down to the ground. You get a little Phillips screwdriver with it, which you could basically strip the whole thing down with, or if you needed to replace a prop, you just pop off these prop cones here, and then the props are clearly marked A and B on the underneath there, and the props have an orientation. If you're new to flying, it'll explain A and B to you, so you make sure you replace the prop with the correct prop. Like I said, you get prop guards with it as well. Now, if you're new to flying, I would definitely recommend you use those. I just get in there, you just simply pull that out and then just pop that in, and it's just a very simple click in there and it pops back out as well. It's really handy. This is going to protect your ceiling if you're flying indoors and come up or under anything. You're not going to damage the prop or whatever it's going to go into. And then you've got a massive protector there as well. If you put this on, obviously your quad's going to be huge, but if you're new to flying, it's a really good way of learning. And then simply, like I say, pop that back off, and that goes back in as well. So you've got your smart looking quad again when you get proficient enough with it. The battery, as I said, I was getting average of 19 minutes, around that, 18 to 20 minutes depending on how hard you're going to fly, but that's a really good long flight length. I'll put a link down in description because you can get them with 1, 2 or 3 batteries, and if they brought out the 1080p one, I'll also put a link in for that as well. The video footage, as you saw, I show it full screen so you can see exactly whether it's good enough for you or not. The actual quality of the downward facing one was really bad. It was very blocky, and I didn't notice it that bad actually on the front facing one, but that's quite normal as well. This is an optical float camera really. They've just nicked into it to get a bit of footage out of it, but yeah, the front facing one is much better. To charge this up, they give you this cable here, and you must use this one because I think there's a wire in here that's different to most micro USBs to USB cables, so just be careful with it. I have heard of people damaging their battery with it. So simply plug it into there, and then you can use anything that uses a USB, so your computer, your laptop, your car, a mains adapter for your phone, that sort of thing. Simply plug it in. I use power banks when I'm out and about, and then you get a red LED when it's actually charging. When it's fully charged, the LED goes off. It was taking just over 2 hours, and they give just over 3 hours to charge it in the actual instructions. So, but I've done several flights with it now, and it was just over the 2.5 hours max, I would say. So that works pretty good. You also get an instruction manual with it, which is really good. It runs through everything I've basically run through in the review, but it's there in hard copy for you as well. But everything is very clear on the VISUO. They've been doing these a while, and they've really got the grips with it, to be perfectly honest. The only thing I slightly disagree with is in here they say that before your first flight you will have to set trimming on it, and I've never had a VISUO that I've had to set trimming on. It's always flown out of the box and flown really nicely. So I slightly disagree with this bit here. And then it goes into the app and everything. The app works on Android and Apple as well, which is cool. And then I've run basically through all of this, but it's there for you as well. So what do I think of it all in all? I really like it, as you probably got that impression. I like these folding ones. They go in my rucksack, no problem at all. The app was really good and it flew really nicely, equally as nicely on the app as it did with the actual transmitter. So for me, going out on the hills or anything, I just quickly can bung that in my rucksack. I've got my phone with me anyway, and then I'm up and ready to fly. And with that long flight time as well is really good. And I think for the value for money, they're really good little quads. So. Hope you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.